Today we're going to be looking at a indicator developed by LuxAlgo. Now LuxAlgo, they develop many different indicators. Today they released the Trendline Breakout Navigator, which is this indicator over here. There are a few different settings that you can change, and they also have multi-time frame as well. So this is where you could be on a lower time frame, and then you can have the indicator set up for a higher time frame. So those of you guys that manually put on a trend line, some may get confused as to where to place it, and this could cause a lot of losses. So by LuxAlgo developing this specific indicator, it puts on 3 different plots, which I'm going to be sharing with you. So this solid line here, this red line, and this solid line here is the overall long-term trend. The one that is a dash going across, that's the medium trend. And then you have the dotted lines, which are the shorter trend. The higher the trend line, which is the solid line, the more likelihood the trend working in your favor. So for example, if you see over here, we had a break above this downward strong trend line, and then price moved up. So the purpose of this video, I'm going to be sharing with you an example of how to use this. I'm going solely off the 1 hour time frame. I'm going to be using what we call a 3-to-1 reward to risk. This is where if we have a break of one of the trend lines, then we would enter. Specifically for this video, I'm going to be only focusing on the solid trend line and the dashed trend lines, because this is the long term and the medium. I'm going to be ignoring the dotted lines, because with that one I personally found that the winning rate is a lot lower. However, for the purpose of this video, we're gonna be looking into whether this actual indicator is something we can use in our own trading and actually benefit from it, or is it just another indicator made by LuxAlgo that possibly works only for a little bit and then it causes our account to capitulate. Let's find out. So right here, because it's broken this strong trend line here, I'm going to be looking to go short. Let's market execute there. And where should the stop loss be? Personally, I wouldn't be placing it just on that trend line, which is close to that candle. I'll be placing it on the last candle that broke that trend line, which was this one here. And I'm going to be going for a 3-to-1. Now that is quite a big drop to the bottom, but let's see what happens, whether we reach it or not. You can see we're already in profit, and you can see that we're in profit by a 147. So when price reaches around this level, this is where I'm going to be using my risk management, and I'm going to be moving to break even once we reach that point. So we haven't reached that point yet, and you can see that price has now reached a 2-to-1, which is nice. Had I gone in earlier, you can see I would have been stopped out. Many would probably do that. Let's move to break even. Now this is where you, the trader, need to decide, are you happy with a 2-to-1? This is where if you put in $100 at risk, you're looking at making 200. Or do you really want to get that 3-to-1 or not? So for the purpose of this video, let's see what happens if we did go for a 3-to-1. Does it hit target? No, it doesn't. And price, of course, flies up, and it would have stopped you out. So once you start to do a few back tests, depending on which time frame you go on, I'm just solely sticking to the 1 hour time frame, you will then figure out, okay, a 2-to-1 is the way to go forward or not. So let's do one more, and this is where you can see that because we had a break of this medium trend line here, which is the dashed lines there, I'm going to be entering another trade. Okay, market execute that one, and stop loss will be just under this candle, which was the candle that broke, and we will target something like this. Now this has already got 2.77, which is this solid trend line. You can aim for that, or you can go just above it and try to stick to your risk management and let's see what happens. So far, what you will also notice with the trend line itself, this solid line, it does actually move in real time, and because of this you can't actually pinpoint a target point based on a trend line to trend line. So this is why I would specifically stick to a 2-to-1 or a 3-to-1 reward to risk. So you can see at this point we're not quite there to a 2-to-1. If I get to the 2-to-1, and let's see what happens. Okay, we are now at 2-to-1. This is where you can decide move your stop loss to break even, or you can solely just go for a 3-to-1, and you can see that target has been hit. Okay, so that was our example. Let's test this in a real life scenario where we are going to forward test it. Let's get rid of all this, and we are going to be doing a random back test. You can see I clicked the random button. I have no idea where this is going to stop, and it's gone to December 22, which is fair enough. So at this moment in time, there's not much to do here. We will wait for a trend line to break. So in this respect, you can see that the closest trend line is this one. I can't see any solid trend line, and we just have to wait. So okay, so you can see here we have got a medium trend line that has formed. Just remember, solid is the stronger trend line, the dashed line is a medium trend line, and the dotted line is the weaker trend line. So we are not going for a bounce off the trend line, we're looking for a breakout of the trend line. So if it breaks, then I would be looking at entering that trade. Not quite broken. I need a solid close. Okay, now I'm going to ignore that one. Okay, now you can see that we have had a situation where price, it hasn't created a new trend line, so I'm going to be ignoring that. Okay, now you can see that price has broken the short term, which is a weaker trend line. I'm not going to be entering on that. I just want to enter on the dashed, which is a medium trend line, and the stronger trend line. And at this moment in time, nothing as of yet. You might be thinking, well, if you had entered there, you could have taken this trade and that may have played out, and that could possibly be your strategy and you decide you want to go with that. But for the purpose of the video, I'm just going to be sticking to the medium and the long term. So at the moment, that's nothing so far. Okay, so we have got a situation where price has, let's just go back for a second, went too quick. You can see price has broken that medium trend line there. Okay, so at this situation, I would be looking at market executing, or you could look for a trade a little bit lower, but let's market execute that. Where should your stop loss be? It will be below the candle that broke clearly. And now here is where you have to, of course, use a bit of discretion here, because given that this candle is so big, the target reward to risk will be quite high. So because this candle is so large, you have to use some discretion and think, is a 3-to-1 more likely or a 2-to-1 more likely? In this respect, I will go for a 2-to-1, or I would ignore that trade completely. Let's see what happens. Do we hit it or not? And okay, so you can see price has broken that trend line there, and we've got these short-term trend lines. But as long as price doesn't come and stop us out, okay, now you can see the price is heading towards our stop loss, and we have got a medium buy trend line. Okay, we are not entering another trade, we're just letting it play out, and you can see that price has actually broken that medium trend line there. So that would have been a stop out, and I would be looking at a short position there with your stop loss on that break there, and let's go for a 3-to-1, which is just about there. reward to risk is actually quite nice, and you might feel comfortable and think to yourself, you know what, that's too tight, I'm gonna go there. It's totally up to you. I'm gonna be sticking to this. That broke that candle, and it's a strong momentum candle as well. There's no kind of a strong wick to the upside. The body is telling me that it's more bearish than a rejection. So let's let it play out and see. There you go. Okay, hits target. So we have had one loss, but we won. We are still up 2R. Now that we are in this position, what do? We just stay out the trade. We don't take any more until criteria is met. We have a break above or break below one of the trend lines. Okay, so let's just wait. Okay, we're not going to enter on the weaker trend line. We're only looking for the medium and strong trend. So we have got a strong trend line that has formed here on real time. Let's just wait for a break. Now you can see, if we look closely, we have had a break, but we got wick to wick. I'm not convinced with that. We'll be looking for more of a stronger body close, and let's see what happens. And you can see by actually identifying the candle itself with that indecision at the bottom and the top, that was telling me would be the wrong time to enter. Now, this is not an opportunity for me to go in short. I'm looking for a break, so let's wait and see what happens. Okay, now you can see clearly we have had a break. This is a very nice candle. Compare this candle to that one. Let's enter that trade, and we will go for a 3-1. Okay, and you can see straight away, even though this candle is solid and bigger than the ones previously, it's not as big as this one here, giving me a better reward to risk. Look at that in comparison. Let's see what happens. You can see that price is moving sideways, and we are in this trade for a little longer than usual anticipated, and you can see that price has tagged us out. Okay, no problem, but we have no opportunity to take another trade as well. Let's see what day of the week it was. This was on a Tuesday. This was the London session. You can see we were actually going, no, this was the Asian session. Started off Asian session, and then we ended up having the Asian session here moving sideways there. So that is something that you could potentially look at, think, okay, I'm only going to enter on the London session or the New York session. This one was actually was the New York session, and then it went to the Asian session, and then yeah, we were going sideways for a good few days there, and that didn't really work in our favor until price dropped down. Okay, it is what it is. We're not going to overthink it. We're still up 1R. So that means that if we put 1,000 at risk, we're still up 1,000. And we're going to be waiting for another move. Still waiting. Okay, now we've got our medium trend line going across, but we have a trend line, a strong trend line to the bottom. If that breaks, I will be entering a short. Okay, so now we have a situation where you can see very clearly that if I was to bring this bar back, you can see that if I had entered on this, then most likely I would get tagged out, because the next thing is you can see price drop to the downside. And this is candle. You can see just by looking at the candles, this tells us straight away that there's an indecision. So I would only enter if we get a strong close to the breakout point. So if the breakout is towards the upside, then I need a strong close to the upside, but we didn't get that. We got an indecision, so this is where I would ignore it. Let's see what happens. Now we've got a situation where the trend line is still here, and you can see that price is of course breaking above here. Unless price is breaking a trend line, a clear trend line like this, I'm going to ignore this. You can see that. Okay, I'm still ignoring. Nothing as of yet. And we have a situation where price is still moving towards the upside. You win some, you lose some, and some you might be completely out the game. It is what it is. Okay, so what do we have here? We have waited from Thursday all the way to Thursday. So it took us 1 week to wait for a setup to develop for us. I do like this. You can see very clearly that this candle body is closed very nicely. The wick itself, even though it's on the both side, it isn't as big as the candle body. So in this respect, I will be looking to take a short position with my stop loss just above there. And let's see if we can get a 3 to 1. Okay, we can't get a 3 to 1 quite yet. It will be about there. You can see to that point, and we'll assess how it goes. Okay, so you can see very clearly we got stopped out over here, and now we just wait for another trade. So now we are at break even, and we just wait for another trade to play out. Let's see what happens. Sideways. I don't want to take on the weaker trend line. I will only take it based on the medium trend line. Okay, there you have it. Okay, so if this trend line breaks to the upside, then I will be looking for a long. So nothing as of yet. There you go. Okay, so it's broken out. Okay, stop loss below that candle there, and let's go for a 3 to 1. Okay, and we got stopped out again, so that's -1R so far. Let's see, and this is a weaker trend line. I'm not going to ignore that. Okay, and you know what? We have to stick to it. We have to stick to the plan. And had I seen this, I would be looking to take a position like this, and then it would have been a 3 to 1 there. Let's see what happens. Yep, tagged us out. You can see, so that now is -2R, and we have got another trade here. We're getting more trades. You can see, like last week we didn't get much trade, we only got one, but now we're getting a few more. Stop loss just under that candle, and we're gonna go for 3 to 1. And let's see what happens. Almost stopped out. Okay, we've got stopped out again. -3. And so far, still nothing. We'll wait for that break. Still nothing. Let's see if we could make our losses back. Still nothing. We need a new trend line developing. That's a new trend line up there. Okay, if we get a break above this one, then I would enter. Okay, we have got some indecisions there. However, you can see that this specific trend line here, we have met that criteria, but we have got a short-term trend line at the top that could get reaction. But let's see what happens anyway. Do we get anything of somewhat? Yep, we got stopped out there, you can see, and we got a big push to the upside. Okay, so now that we got a big push to the upside, let's take a push 3 to 1, and there you have it. So from based on this, doing the back test and the forward test, we only won one trade, and you can see very clearly that we haven't really won anything after that, given that we stick to the high time frame there to there. So is it going to be better on the 4-hour time frame and the daily time frame? That is yet to be seen, but based on the hourly time frame and back testing this on gold, this isn't a good indicator to use. But hey, if you guys decide to use this, then definitely don't use the 1 hour time frame. Check it out on the 4 hour time frame or the daily if it's worth doing. But so far, my personal opinion, I wouldn't use this on the hourly time frame. And let's see if this is any better on the 4 hour time frame. Let's do one on the 4 hour and let's see what happens, if we get anything decent or not. Okay, we have got the 4 hour there. We have a strong close below it, then I would enter. Okay, nothing as of yet. Just going sideways. Okay, yes, so we have got a strong close to the downside. Stop loss there. And let's do a 3 to 1 and let's see what happens. And you can see we have had, so far we are up 2 to 1. Let's see if we get a 3 to 1 or not. And it seems that we have had almost hit the 3 to 1, and we've got a situation where that trend line could break. There you go, trend line's broken, and this is where you could take a profit. So based on this back test and forward test, personally I would not use it on the 1 hour time frame. If I was to do this video again, then I would be looking at the 4 hour time frame. Those of you guys that want to try this indicator for your own back testing on your own asset class that you like to trade, then definitely don't go for the 1 hour, go for 4 hour and see where things are. That will save you some time. I've already done the backtest, forward test for you. Don't go for the 1 hour, go higher than that. Go with the 4 hour, 6 hour, or the daily time frame and see where things go. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more content like this, then make sure you subscribe. Please give this video a thumbs up, really helps out the channel, and I will catch you on the next one.